Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. This is gonna be position 6, Ms. Orozco.
Yeah. Good afternoon, thank you.
You're welcome.
Orozco, good afternoon, Ms. Orozco. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 23 CR 0000890C with battery family violence. Let's see, I don't see pretrial on as of yet. Good afternoon, Mr. Rogers. Is this your case?
Yes, it is, John. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. And if you have the, do you have the history?
Yes.
Okay.
One total cycle, 2010 conviction out of Cobb County for a fray. That's the only cycle.
Okay.
Okay, Young. On February the 13th of 2023, officers arrived to 1631 Stanton Road Southwest in reference to a dispute. Upon arrival, officers spoke with Janae Orozco, and that is the defendant's sister, who stated that she arrived to her sister's home to see her nieces and nephews, and she was accompanied by her mother, Miss Janice Warren. While in the parking lot, Miss Marita Orozco, the defendant, her boyfriend came into the parking lot and he did not speak to her mother. The defendant then came out and spoke with her sister and mother. The sister addressed the fact that the defendant's boyfriend did not speak to the mother, and that led to a verbal dispute, and the defendant open hand slapped the her sister in the face. The mother witnessed the events. Police officers spoke with the mother over the phone. The mother stated, "I don't know why she smacked her like that." The victim did have minor bruising on the left side of her face, and body-worn camera did capture the victim's injuries. We're asking for a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. That's all from the statement.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Orozco is 30 years old, and she has no objection to stay away. I mean, not stay away. That's her place. No further contact with Janae, her sister. However, when I talked to her sister was wanting to actually dismiss the charge. She has no intention to prosecute her, and she would like to have a no further violent contact. And I'm not sure if she is here to testify. And yet, either way, we are okay, and we would like to defer to the court. My client is a single mom with 2 children, 10 and 7 years old, and she has been working at Economy Hotel as a front desk, and her income limit is very tight, and she also has a learning disability. So we would like to request for signature on bond. Her previous charge was very long time ago, remote, and also the client's sister was not really mad at her, and there was not much damages, I guess, that she does not fear for her sister. So signature on bond would be a great thing. Thanks.
Okay, Janae Orozco, I see that you're on the line. If this is your opportunity to address the court, if you choose to, you do not have to, but if you choose to, I'll have to swear you in. So if you'll raise your right hand for the court. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I would just like to tell the court, yesterday when my sister assaulted me, she was high. Like I'm not trying to throw her under the bus in no way, but she was high, and I don't know if that played a factor in why she put her hands on me. I'm still trying to figure out why she put her hands on me. But I know earlier today I did say that I wanted to drop the charges, but I don't, because she has done this too many times before and I haven't called the police. But now it's like, no, I don't want to.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. It's gonna be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Janae Orozco, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to both of you all. Who do we have next?
Position 5, Nunes. You gotta send me the bond. I don't have to pull it up.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nunez. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 23 CR 0000889Y with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is fourth arrest. Last arrest was 2021. Reckless conduct, false imprisonment, fleeing an officer. He's on probation for that out of Cobb. Another 2021 arrest for fleeing an officer. It just says warrant issued. And 2018 ag assault, theft by taking out of Gwinnett.
Okay, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, Your Honor. The facts are on February the 13th of 2023, officers arrived to Saks Fifth Avenue, located at 1 Buckhead Loop Northeast on Lenox Road, in reference to a shoplifting. Upon arrival, they spoke with Garrett Williams. He worked at the store. He reported that Mr. Mayte Nunez, he was captured on video picking up a pair of sunglasses, taking the sunglasses to the back of the store, cutting the security tag off of the sunglasses with a red Milwaukee wire cutter. And then he repeated the same action. He went back to the counter, selected another pair of Montclair sunglasses, and took them to the back of the store and cut the security tag off of them also. He then attempted to exit the store. He passed all points of sale, and he was detained at the exit, and police were called. The Montclair glasses were recovered and the red wire cutters. The state is requesting a $3,000 signature bond, stay away order from that Saks Fifth, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, Your Honor. That's nothing further from the state.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. Kim?
No.
Okay, so it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from Saks, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Nunez. He has a question, Ms. Kim.
Mr. Nunez, I'll be able to call you at the jail, so please do not say anything.
Your Honor, next we got position number 4, Mr. Sidney James. Come on.
Okay, thank you.
Who wants to go pro se?
I'm not a pro se, I'm sue juris, man.
Okay, put your mask up.
Sway Potty State of State, for the record.
Good afternoon, Mr. James. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is
I know who you is.
This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar. You have been charged with criminal trespass and 2 counts of willful obstruction of an officer and 1 count of simple battery against a police officer. You understand that you have a right to remain silent, and anything you say can be used against you. You also have a right to have an attorney representing you in these proceedings. And it's my understanding that you don't want an attorney. Is that right?
You already know what's going on, man.
So do you want to answer my question about whether you want a lawyer or not? I'm happy to let you have a lawyer.
He already told you what's going on. I don't represent, I ain't getting represented by foreign agents. Y'all foreign agents, you know what I'm saying? Y'all took an oath under 8 United States Code title, and we can pull this up. You know what I'm saying? Supreme Court decision, Marbury versus Madison, state clearly that all codes, rules, and regulations are null and void.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna let you proceed pro se. So as we go forward, Courtroom 2, I want to be able to hear Mr. Rogers when he speaks. So if there's any interruption from anyone in courtroom 2, would you mind muting so that I can hear Mr. Rogers as we go forward?
Yes, sir.
All right, I appreciate it. Mr. Howard, is there a history?
17 total. Last arrest was 2021, August, trespass on Marta. June 2021, trespass obstruction, Marta. 2020, obstruction, disorderly conduct. 2019, failure to appear for obstruction and trespass. 2019, probation, simple battery. What else? 2017, obstruction, that was dismissed. 2016, terroristic threats, criminal trespass, arrest. 2015, failure to appear. Simple battery, obstruction, conviction, 2014, out of DeKalb County. So he has open cases though, that I named from 2021.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rogers?
Yes, Your Honor, the facts are on February the 13th of 2023, officers were conducting train patrol upon Martyr. They observed Mr. Sidney James with his head down, leaning against the train seat. They then performed a welfare check on Mr. James. They asked him which exit he was getting off on. He refused to comply with the request to answer. And then they told him that he would have to exit the train if he could not provide an exit. He then proceeded to get up and push the officer out of his way when he was exiting the train. Then the officers tried to detain and handcuffed him, and he became physically combative. He was flailing his arms around in an attempt to be free from the officer's custody. The state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, $500 for each count, a stay away order, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Falk, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yes, Your Honor. I can't determine if this is a MHET issue or not. It kind of seems like it might at least require somebody from a social worker. I understand he's not represented by counsel, but I don't know if there's a way we could arrange for a social worker to go out and visit.
Okay, Ms. Kim, are you with me?
Judge Morrell, Ms. Kim is talking to Mr. De La Rosa. He was supposed to be a medical reset, but they cleared him.
Okay, it sounds as though, I'll speak to Ms. Kim in a moment. It sounds as though she is the only
Attorney here today.
defender that we have on with us. So I will come back and speak with her. It's going to be a $250 good bond per charge, for a total of $1,000 good bond, drugs, alcohol, weapons, and a social worker visit, which I will have arranged by Ms. Kim if she will agree to do that for the court.
I'm sorry, Judge. What was the, can you please repeat the bond?
It's going to be a $250 good bond per charge, which means it's going to be a total of $1,000 total good bond.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who do we have next?
Hey, I want to say something.
We are done with Mr. James for the time, so I'll see him back at another time if necessary.
Judge, was there a stay away on this case?
Was a stay away from Marta requested?
Yes, we requested a stay.
Okay, so yes, a stay away from Marta.
Thank you.
Take my plea.
I'm sorry, Judge, we had a situation.
Okay, I understand.
All right, come on, Mr. Bush, position 2, Mr. Bush.
Is this Ms. Kemp's case?
This is a conflict, this is,
Good afternoon, it's my case. All right, very good. Good afternoon, Mr. Bush. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? You're on mute, courtroom 2. I'll take it that that's a yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bush. You've been charged in case 23 CR 0000886F with battery, family violence, criminal trespass, 2 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, and simple battery, family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
My coworker got that file. He went to felony. I'll go find out what the bond is.
Okay, thank you. Do you have the history, Mr. Rogers?
Yes, Your Honor. He has a 2023 arrest. He was just arrested on February the 13th of 2023 for armed robbery, aggravated assault, battery, possession of a firearm during commission. He also has an open 2021 matter, aggravated assault in Fulton County. And he was arrested in Pennsylvania in 2022 for strangulation, simple assault, and harassment. Those charges were null pros. That's all the history I have.
Okay, and what do we have on these charges?
Yes, on September the 29th of 2021, officers arrived to 3901 Campbellton Road in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, officers spoke with Precious Johnson, and she advised that she had been assaulted by her boyfriend, Emmanuel Bush. She stated that the defendant became upset when she wanted to get her possessions and leave. He forced her to the floor in her children's bedroom. He then grabbed Precious by her arms and neck and squeezed her until a bruise was on her right forearm. He also placed his hands on her throat, and she was able to fight him off. Both of her kids were present in the room. They were ages 5 and 3 at the time that the assault happened. She confirmed his identity by identifying the Georgia's license photo. And when she was leaving that location, the defendant used a broomstick to damage and shatter the passenger side mirror of her vehicle. It is to be noted that in 2021, the aggravated assault involves the same victim. A bond order for that matter was issued on July the 22nd of 2021. It was a stay away order in effect, no further contact with the victim, Precious Johnson. It was a $10,000 surety bond. And this particular incident happened 2 months after that bond order was issued on September 29th of 2021. Additionally, the charge that Mr. Bush was just arrested on, it occurred on December the 11th of 2022. He is accused of going to under the premise of buying a PlayStation 5 from a victim. When he pulled up to buy the PlayStation 5, he produced a firearm and told the victim to give him the PlayStation 5. The reason why I'm explaining this incident is because during that incident, a female was present in the passenger seat and a child was in the back in a car seat during that occurrence. For those reasons, the state finds that Mr. Bush is very, very dangerous, and the risk of reoffending is very high, and witness intimidation is very high also. We're requesting a surety bond in the amount of $12,000, $10,000 for the battery, family violence, and $500 each for the remaining charges. A stay away order, no further contact, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 25 years old. My client tells me that he is the victim of mistaken identity. He tells me that he was actually speaking with an officer about some other charges, and it's not him. He is not involved in those charges at all. So first and foremost, he said that all of those charges that the prosecutor talked about, including the PlayStation incident and so on, are not him at all. It's someone else who's using his identity. So that is the first thing. The second thing, Your Honor, is that this incident that allegedly happened in September of 21, this happened to be his place. His name was on the lease. He tells me that he was in a very brief relationship with Miss Johnson, and he asked her to leave and she left, but she would keep coming back to his place when he was not there because he was not allowed under the terms of the lease to change the lock. So she apparently had a key and she would come there quite often when he was not there. She would try the place, so ketchup and eggs all over the place, and then she would call the police. She had done it several times. He attempted to make a police report and they said it was a civil matter. He tells me that on that particular day, he actually has an alibi. He wasn't nowhere near his home. He was actually out with some friends. And he tells me that he has evidence that will prove that he was actually not there. This incident happened well over a year ago, Your Honor, and as stated, they're not in a relationship anymore. He is not the father of any of these children that they are alleging. He has no children, actually. He tells me that he lives in Decatur with his mom. He is gainfully employed. My client has 2 years of college, and he works. And as I said before, he says the aggravated assault and all that, that is absolutely not him. He has not been convicted of anything based on what I heard people say. It's all been, well, he was arrested or he was held, but he has no convictions on his record. Even if we would give any credence to those allegations that he was arrested, which he denies, of course. Based on that, I would ask the court, given how long ago this incident happened, the fact that these two people are no longer in contact with each other, to give my client a signature bond so he can get out of jail and get back to his work, and also get back to the business of clearing his name, not only against this allegation, but the others that have been made against him. Nothing further, Your Honor.
And so it's my understanding that earlier today, he received no bond on the charges that are felony charges. So as far as these charges go, battery, family violence, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. For each of the other charges, it will be a $500 good bond. That makes for a total of a $4,000 good bond. Stay away from Precious Johnson, or no further contact with Precious Johnson. Stay away from the Campbellton Road address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
There are a couple of things, Your Honor. First of all, the Campbellton Road address is not her address, it's his. She lived there very briefly and left. He doesn't live there anymore either, but I just wanted to put that out there. He actually lives in Decatur. And he tells me he has not seen Miss Johnson for well over a year, and he's not in touch with her at all. So staying away from her is not an issue. The issue is probably her staying away from him.
Okay, so he should have no further contact with Miss Johnson and stay away from whatever residence she resides in at the present time. And if he doesn't know her, and if he does not know where she lives, then that should not be a problem.
I have a question.
Hold on, Mr. Bush. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I'll be happy to let you talk with Ms. McLeod with any questions that you might have, but that might not be to your best interest to speak during this court session.
It's very important. I don't think that it incriminate me, but I do have a question as far as, like, say that if I wanted to press charges against her, or is it matter?
Okay, you're gonna have to, you'd have to discuss that with someone else, Mr. Bush, okay?
All right.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Anything further on Mr. Bush?
So how much did you say it was?
I'll explain it to you. Go ahead and have a seat for me. For position 3, we are gonna need the plea paperwork for Mr. You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I was actually about to make that announcement. Thank you, jail and courtroom too. I have already sent it to Sergeant Norris, and he will be entering a plea. So Judge Morrow, as soon as that paperwork is ready, I'll send it over to Miss Bridgewater.
Okay.
And Judge
thank
Morrow,
you.
my business is finished before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Same
you.
to you. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Thank you. Same
Thank
to
you.
you, Ms. McLeod.
Thank you, same to you.
Thank you, Ms. McLeod.
You're welcome.
This is gonna be position one, Mr. Addo, right?
Good afternoon, Mr. Addo Red. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon. Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 0008878 with theft by shoplifting. It's my understanding that this is Mr. Addo Red's first arrest. Mr. Rogers.
Yes, Your Honor. On January the 27th of 2023, video captured Mr. David Addo Wright and Mr. Jordan Jones entering Studert's Range and Guns located at 485 Bishop Street Northwest in Atlanta. Video captured the two looking at items on the shelves. And once Mr. Addo Wright found the item that he was looking for, he signaled to Mr. Jones, who then went to the attendant and made a purchase to distract the attendant. The defendant then placed the item in his pocket and they left the location in a 2014 Hyundai Ascent. The Hyundai Ascent is registered to the defendant, which also that assisted in identifying the defendant. In addition to that, the defendant's accomplice, Mr. Jones, provided his license to prove his identification because it was a gun shop and that's required. The defendant did take a Magpul rifle attachment from the store. Police reviewed the video and he was arrested. The state is requesting a $2,000 surety bond, a stay away from that address, that location, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. It's nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Ms. Kim.
Yes, Mr. David Addo Wright is 20 years old, and he was born in New York, but he grew up here in Georgia. He is currently going to Park Atlanta University. He's a sophomore there, studying civil engineering. His current GPA is 3.2. He gets a lot of scholarship and also financial aid. He has to make about $2,000 per year to make up. He is working part-time as a valet at the Bucket, and he's working hard, and he is also studying hard. His GPA from high school was always above 3.0. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond. My client claims that he does not know Mr. Jones at all, and he is currently residing with his it doesn't say who I know. I apologize. But anyway, we would like to request for a signature on bond.
All right, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Bishop Street address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Addo Wright. You have Mr. Addo Wright, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Ms. Kim, you want to advise your client?
Yes, please stay silent. I'll be happy to call you later to explain.
And that was a $2,000 SOB to the jail, correct, Judge?
Correct.
Yes, that's correct.
We're ready for Mr. De La Rosa, position 3,
Okay.
and they're getting ready to do the paperwork.
Okay, thank you. Mr. De La Rosa, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. De La Rosa, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say can be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present at these proceedings to represent you. We have offered the services of a public defender to represent you today. It's my understanding that you have declined that offer and that you would like to proceed pro se today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it's my understanding that you are seeking and wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes.
Say it again.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Rogers, what was the offer for the criminal trespass?
The state conveyed an offer of sentence to 12 months, credit for time served, 1 day with the balance suspended, with a stay away order in place for 265 Peachtree Center Avenue Northeast. That's a Marriott Marquis hotel.
Is that your understanding of what the offer is, Mr. De La Rosa?
Yes.
What's the history, Mr. Howard?
Like 117?
117?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rogers, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. De La Rosa, it's my understanding in case 23 CR 000880J, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this afternoon?
No.
You have been given the option to have counsel represent you today. It's my understanding that you wish to proceed pro se without the advice of an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Did you have the opportunity to go through the plea paperwork line by line?
Yeah.
And did you sign it at the bottom?
Yeah.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I will accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. De La Rosa. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, he's up. Please have a seat in the wheelchair, please. Judge Morrow, we do have a quick announcement for position number 7, waive their appearance,
Okay,
and also the add-on position 1, Mr. Parker waived his appearance as well.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And does that conclude everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, do the same.
Thank you.
Let's start off with Mr. Price, position number 7. Are you with me, Ms. Kim?
Yes, I am. I apologize.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure. I didn't want to
Just
go.
finishing up the paperwork for a waiver of appearance.
Okay, all right, you're fine. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
97.
Okay. What are the last 5 years?
He got an open case in Martyr Simple battery, open case in Clayton County for battery, open trespass as well. On probation in Fulton for aggravated battery. As of 2017, they gave him 10 years probation. 16 SC 140571.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Rogers?
Yes, Your Honor. On February the 13th of 2023, at the location of 2200 Rental Car Center Parkway, College Park, that's at the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Airport. Mr. Price was seen walking up to Justin Garrison, and he punched him in the face. Mr. Garrison was standing near the double doors across from the Enterprise counter. And then Mr. Price, the defendant, he proceeded to get on the SkyTrain and travel back to the airport station. The attendant with Enterprise witnessed the assault, and he followed the defendant onto the SkyTrain, and he alerted police, and the defendant was arrested. The victim, Mr. Justin Garrison, he has stated that he doesn't know Mr. Price at all. He was just in town, on business at the airport, waiting on a rental car. He was punched in the face by a stranger. This is not the first time this has happened. On January the 22nd of 2022, it was a similar situation where Mr. Price was at the airport and he walked up to a stranger. He punched him in the face. The defendant had been issued a ban from the airport previously, and it was still in effect when this incident occurred. For that reason and the troubling, facts of these situations, and they continue to happen, the state is requesting and recommending a $3,000 surety bond, $2,000 surety bond for the simple assault, simple battery, and a $1,000 surety bond for the trespass, a stay away from the airport, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Price is 58 years old, and indeed, he has no employment. His education was up to 9th grade. He does have a mailing address. It's at the Odyssey. However, he's residentially challenged. So we requested already for social worker services to have a visit there to make sure that he gets housing resources and also BHAT. We would like to request for a signature on bond. If Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond because of long history, we would like to request for maximum $1,000 good bond, $1,000 for simple battery and criminal trespass signature on bond. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may, could we sound for the victim just in case he is on the Zoom call today?
Mr. Garrison, if you're with us, now is your opportunity to address the court if you choose to do so. Doesn't appear so, Mr. Rogers. As such, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond for the simple battery, $1,000 good bond for the criminal trespass, a total of a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Mr. Garrison, stay away from the airport, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, and there will be a social worker visit, which I hope will be accomplished by the February 28th SAP calendar. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and as far as add-on 1 goes, Mr. Parker, is there a history for Mr. Parker?
Got 11 total. Last arrest was back in November. Reckless conduct, disorderly conduct out of Hateville. 2020, trespass. Shoplifting. It was amended to DC. That was a conviction. Shoplifting 2018, he pled NOLO. 2018, suspended license. 2013, probation. He went to felony earlier for felony theft by taking $5,000 good bond.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes, Your Honor. On November the 12th of 2022, the Hateville Fire Department responded to 438 Henry Ford 2nd Avenue in Hateville in reference to a fire. Upon arrival, they encountered Mr. Randy Parker, the defendant. He started walking towards the fireman aggressively, screaming and shouting. At that time, the fireman requested police be dispatched to the scene. When officers arrived, they spoke with the chief, who stated that they had been to that location several times since the year started in reference to fires that had been started by Mr. Randy Parker, the defendant. He had spoken with the defendant and gave several warnings to not start a fire at the above location. He had explained to him that it was dangerous and the fire could spread. In addition to that, Hateville, that city has an ordinance that bans fires between May 1st and October 1st. And outside of those dates, you must obtain a burn permit to burn anything in Hateville. The incident location, it has a 9-foot gate and fencing all around the property, but the defendant was still able to access that property and set fires The police tried to take the defendant into custody, and he started being belligerent towards them and yelling and shouting obscenities at them. He then snatched away when he was given verbal commands to place both hands behind his back. For that reason, the state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond, $1,000 for each count, a stay away from that location, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Parker is 56 years old and he was born and raised here in Georgia. He graduated from high school and also he has a stable housing, and yet he's disabled. He's not able to work, so his income is very limited to the disability check that he's getting. Our office will be continuously representing him because he's qualified for public defender services. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond, and yet if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for maximum $1,500 coupon, $500 each. He already has a $5,000 coupon from felony, and he does not have anybody who can bond him out at this point. Thank you.
So for the reckless conduct, it's going to be a $500 good bond. For the disorderly, a $250 good bond. For the obstruction, a $250 good bond. Makes for a total of $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the Henry Ford location, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Ms. Kim, while you
Yes.
were speaking with one of your other clients, we had a situation that I am asking that you assist the court with. This was on position number 4, Sydney James.
Yes.
It appears that Mr. James did not want to be represented today, but I did give him a good bond, and I would like for a social worker to go and see if there are any mental health issues with him. And
Sure.
if the social worker can report back to me by the SAP calendar, that would be helpful. Can you assist the court in that way?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate it. Okay, and with that, I believe that that concludes today's 2 o'clock calendar. Ms. Bridgewater, whenever you're ready.
Yes, once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be February the 28th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 2 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $4,000 good bond. Position number 3 took a plea. Position number 4 is reset to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 6 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position number 7 is reset to the SAP calendar with the $3,000 total good bond. And the add-on position is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 total good bond. Are there any questions, corrections, or otherwise? If not, everyone have a happy, happy, happy Valentine's Day.